Top cut. Give me a win next round and my life is yours. Please. Oh, please, bro. Bro, please, bro. Oh, bro, I'm tired of being Ploofy's strongest soldier. I am not Ploofy's strongest soldier. I am his weakest soldier. What's up, y'all? DarkShowTCG here, back with another video, and today I got for you one of the first big event leader breakdowns, distributions, and top 8 deck lists for the SSG Southside Gaming Double Case Tournament. This is one of the first big, like, unofficial, official OP11 tournaments with starter decks legal as well. So without further ado, let's just get into the video and the breakdown, right? So obviously, most represented leader, BDIF, projected BDIF, Blue Purple Luffy. Right after him is Bello Betty, obviously his hardest matchup. It kind of makes a lot of sense that people would be running a lot of Betty into this event. I think third most represented leader, GP Luffy, with 9 slots taken. Still a pretty good deck in the upcoming format. So, you know, if you didn't want to switch off after EB, you can still run GP Luffy with a lot of success, actually. After that, we have 7 Blackbeards, Marshall D. Teach. Honestly, didn't expect this leader to still be around, especially with like Bello Betty and GP around, Ploofy as well. There's a decent amount of like aggro in this format, since, you know, Lucci's functionally not relevant. I don't think there's a single Lucci in this tournament, which it warms my heart to not see Robert Lucci in tournaments. After the Teach, we have Buggy clowning around himself. Spoilers, Mr. Leader of the Cross Guild. He got crazy buffs with the starter deck. I'm happy to see this deck here as well. He can just floodgate a decent amount of the aggro decks with the promo Buggy. He also can just, like, if you can't remove his board with the addition of Hawkadile, Croc Mihawk, a lot of these decks can't deal with him. And then once, like, being able to double Buggy on 10 Dawn, bottoming 2 units, and then having like 3 other like 7k statted units is insane. So happy to see Buggy here. Next leader, we have Ploofy, Purple Luffy. This deck just doesn't die just because the leader ability is so good. Purple has been getting stealth buffed over a while, you know, generic stealth buffs. And then there's like this new like ramp build with like the 8-cost Purple Katakuri card. That you just ramp to that Katakuri, and then that Katakuri ramps you to, you know, as well, but you don't really need it. Anyway, super strong shell, super strong package. Purple Luffy still a deck if you want to play. There's a lot of just like random purple Luffy leaders. There's like 6 or like 5 of them here. Anyway, next leader, Purple Black Luffy. Same amount of representation as Purple Luffy. Once again, another starter deck buffed leader. He got that new 6-drop, which is actually pretty strong. I'm curious to see how this leader will do with the new starter decks. This leader was always super fun for me to play. Glad to see that a couple of people have brought him. Next, Mono Purple Katakuri. Well, it's there's just a lot of purple decks. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 purple decks so far. You know, I'm so happy to see that purple is just getting better. It's the rise of purple. Purple Katakuri himself, you know, you're playing with the future sight. I think his package is cute. He doesn't really have like super crazy top end to ramp into outside of 8-cost Katakuri, but you know, I'm not upset that this leader's here. Nami, one of the best red leaders. Red is in like reading, as in like her leader ability reads like crazy. Back when this leader got sneak peek into, and we were like middle of Dofi format, everyone thought she was going to be the answer. Still an insane leader. I think her leader ability is just too good. And then there's just 3 of her. After that, we got just a whole bunch of like 2-ofs and 1-ofs. We got 3 of these 2 of the RP Luffys, and then 2 red-green smokers, 3 green-yellow laws, and then just like dresses like Kid, Bonnie, Yamato, Marco, Lim, and Rosinante. That's very interesting. Anyway, let's get into what made top 8. There were 74 decks, 74 participants here. Let's get into what made top 8 top cut itself. They also did run top cut. All right, so in the top 8, we have 2 Bello Bettys, 1 Bonnie, 1 red green smoker, 1 red purple Luffy, and then 3 of the quote unquote BDIF blue purple Luffy. Kind of it's a mix of expected and unexpected in this breakdown, right? Obviously, seeing Bello Betty and Luffy here, blue purple Luffy, is not surprising. Seeing Bonnie and red green Smoker here is very interesting, right? I'm not sure what Bonnie's like matchup spread into this format is. However, it not being such a removal heavy format, and then Bonnie being able to deal with like aggro decks pretty functionally, especially with like the suite of 5 costs she got. She also got, you know, some maybe mini buffs from that starter deck as well. We're gonna go into Bonnie's list and see what they were running, but nah, this was definitely like an insane, like outside of like the first 5 leaders, these other 3 leaders are kind of insane to see here. And I was not a red green Smoker believer at all, so seeing red green Smoker here and RP Luffy here definitely was very surprising to me. I saw the red green Smoker playing on stream in like round like 3 or whatever, and I'm like, yo, like the player on red green Smoker, haha man, I know him, and like he's a very good player. He had like top 32 at Dallas a while back in December during OP09. Cracked player, and you know, I'm like, bro, you're coping when I seen him on Smoker, but I guess not. So shout out to him, man. He has the sauce. Anyway, let's get into these deck lists, what you all came here for, and so you can copy the sauce and see what they got. So first place winner was Stabili. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but shout out him on BDIF. So he's running a blue purple Luffy list. He has 4 of the Sanjis, 4 Namis, 3 Katakuris, 4 Gear Second. Sorry for like the art distribution, but I'll try and like tally up the numbers. What is this? 4 Gear Second, 1 of the Luffys, 2 God Thread, 4 Usohachi. Is this only 2? Okay, no, there's 4 Zorajuro here, 4 Gum Gum Giant, 1 of the 9 cost rush Luffy, 4 Lin Lin. How many of these Sanjis? Is it really only 2 Sanjis? Only 2 Sanjis, 2 0 cost events, which is interesting. 2 Red Rocks, 4 Bon Clay, 1 Pudding, 2 Frenosuke, and then 2 Gravity Blades. The Frenosuke and the 0 cost are like some of the more interesting cards and tech choices in this deck. However, I did like see at locals that like this Frenosuke did game somebody. So just having like another rush body, because I think you're only playing these 4, right? Yeah, you're only playing these like 4 rush bodies. So having another rush body to help close out the game is very sneaky, and I like it. I also like the split of like 2 and 2 removal events in terms of Graph Blade and Red Rock. God Thread itself, I'm running mine at 4, but I can see it go down to 3 because you already have a decent amount of ramp with like Zorajuro, Gear Seconds, you know, God Thread and Bon Clay. You already have like a bunch of ramp cards, so I think personally that's what I would change. But and then 1 Pudding, just if you're playing a blue deck, Pudding, people have forgotten how to play against this card, and you can just like, you know, knowledge check people like, oh man, wait, Pudding's a card, drop it against in the mirror, and then you just got yourself a lethal. So shout out to Billy, stay Billy, for his first place placement. Second place, we got Bello Betty. So it was Bello Betty versus blue purple Luffy in the finals. This deck is supposed to be favored, but obviously, you know, there are intricacies in every matchup, and you know, there's also variants too. So they have a VOD up on their channel, the Southside Gaming Twitch channel. If you guys wanted to be interested in like viewing the whole tournament, I can link it below. I might review some games from there myself, but let's just get into this list. So they have 4 Karasu blocker. How many of these koalas? Is it just 2? It is just 2 of the koala blocker. This card helps you deal with starve strategies by helping you take a life and playing a unit and drawing a card. This card does a lot. It's a brick, but you can also pitch it off a leader ability. I like this card a lot. 3 of the 5 cost of Ivankov. The Jinbei for the deck checks top. The Jinbei of the deck, it checks top like 3 or 5. Plays a 5k or less. Revolutionary. 4 of this Ivankov. This is the other Jinbei of the deck. This one actually plays from hand. Karasu, one of the most broken cards in the game. Thank God it's like locked behind super like balanced leaders and like balanced card types. Being able to reduce UP Luffy and make him down back to the realm of mortals is really good. Next we have the Bello Betty Searchers, 4 Koala 2k, 4 of the Kuma 2k, which is a trigger body depending on the life count. 2 of Stage. I've always been a Stage Betty believer, just the extra consistency, draw power. Looking for certain pieces helps a lot. So like you're pitching like your non rev stuff to look for more rev stuff, or you need a specific rev card. The problem with Stage and Bella Betty is that she does use a card for her leader ability, and unlike Blackbeard, who like a lot of his cards say draw one when they like expire, Bella Betty's cards don't do that. So Stage kinda is a neg after, like, when you first play it, but I just like the added consistency personally. 2 Morley, 4 Lindbergh, 3 Energy Hormone is interesting. They're running a lot of tech. Andy is running a lot of tech. I like Dragon and Betty. 3 Inazuma, 2 of these Kuma, 1 Zeus. It's interesting as well. I guess because it's not a Rev Army card and you already have like 8 2Ks, so this is like the 9th 2K. And 1 Divine Departure. So I'm not sure what you're targeting with this. It's probably 8 cost category. I think that makes sense. Like if you have your board established, the UP hasn't gravity bladed you, and you have they played an 8 cost like Sanji and the Katakuri, you just like Divine Departure that Katakuri, then buff all of your guys and you can go in on the Luffy, right? So very interesting tech. This Bella Betty just only lost to 1 person, I think, in the finals. I'm not sure what their bracket was, but you know, it worked out for them. Very interesting curated list for the format. 3rd place, we have Jewelry Bonnie, GH Daya on Jewelry Bonnie. Another player I know personally. This guy is like cracked, been on Bonnie since set 7, I think, since Bonnie released. And you know, he just believes in the leader, and I think I'm never surprised to see this leader topping because it's just such a good generic leader ability, right? And we see that they do have some starter deck upgrade cards, so let's just get into this list. On 4 Jewelry Bonnie Searcher, 4 of the new extract from the starter deck, which is a 2K that can restand the Dawn at the end of the turn. 4 Cavendish, 3 Useless Captain Mid. You know, he's still roaming around, still a good card. 3 Zoro. I think you can play Zoro in this format, especially if you're on 3 cost Tashigi, this Floodgate. This Zoro card, if decks can't deal with this and they like didn't respect the Tashigi, it just wins games. Especially like once again, we're not in a removal format. 4 Hoodie Jones against all these purple Luffy Straw Hat leaders, resting those Dawn, making the opponent be like, yo, I'm a green deck, you have to respect my Hoodie. It's very relevant in this format. 9 cost Shanks, you know, just being able to easily KO any of your opponent's rested units. So like into blue purple Luffy, if you can bait the Katakuri blocker, you know, with a swing, and then just drop this Shanks down, KO it, you know, you're ahead. Or your Luffy opponent committed some swings, you play the Shanks, and then now you know you're back in the game. 2 of these Apu 2Ks, 2 1K beige blockers. Chump blockers are really good in this format. Very annoying to get through for a lot of decks, especially like these top end decks. Very annoying to get through. Floodgate Tashigi, insane card for green. Smoker, 5 cost Smoker, 3 copies of it. I guess we need more 5 drops to play to show out our mid game. Carrot, anti-aggro tool, really annoying card for a lot of decks to deal with. I think GP Luffy has a very hard time against this card, especially if they're not on Radio Knife, because they're just freezing your Luffy Taros and your Sanji and Puddings, especially if you're using Stage. 3 0 cost event. This deck runs a lot of bricks. Sometimes, often actually, I just die with 7 cards in hand while I'm on Bonnie. So 0 cost is very welcomed. 2 killer blockers. We have 8 cost Kid, so having 6 targets, 6 blocker targets, or not even 6, 8 blocker targets for this Kid feels good. Because playing Kid without like a blocker feels really bad, but having it makes you an AK leader, and then having the blocker as well feels really good. Rosinante is obviously one of the best targets because this helps stop KO removal. But if you have a Tashigi, Kid, and Rosinante, you pretty much Exodia the Kid, especially with a healthy hand. And then after that, we have 1 of the Eroge blockers. No Doflamingo around means that this card is usually just sticking more. Not a lot of decks have like the answer for this on curve. Maybe this gets God threaded or what have you, but in a lot of other matchups, this card just sticks, and he provides a decent amount of value just untapping that Dawn every turn. Yeah, so this was Daya on Bonnie. Shout out them for 3rd place. 4th place, another blue purple Luffy. Interesting cards in this deck list. So they're on 2 of the 9 cost Luffys, 1 Red Rock. They're on 3 of this It's to Die For event, which if your opponent controls, I think, a 6K unit, you get to ramp 2 active Dawn instead of the 1. So this can help you like Exodia and like triple ramp, you know, if your opponent develops like a 4/6. So shout out A-Town. Are there any other interesting choices in this list? 4 Nami blocker, 3 Linlin, 4 Katakuri. A lot of this deck is like ratio and top ends. And then another thing I'm seeing is that more people are including this for Nosuke. I might have to try that out myself. Only 2 Zorajuro. Oh, there's 4 9 Mom, different art. I don't see any other arts for Zorajuro, so there's only 2 Zorajuros, which is very interesting to me. 2 Zorajuro, 2 God Thread, 4 Bond Clay. How many gear 2? 4 gear 2, so it's like 12 ramp cards still, I think. 4, 8, 12, yeah. Oh no, 12, 15 ramp cards. Interesting. Nothing else to say. You're gonna see a lot of blue purple Luffy lists, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on them. Next we have Andreas with Bello Betty 5th place. More Bettys on Divine Departure, more Zeus. They're all on stage. Raise Max is interesting. I think power reduction in KO is very relevant moving forward, especially with like these top end decks being able to KO a lot of these blockers. It was really strong. And since they're running Raise Max, they're also running more Kuma than the previous Bello Betty player. They're also still on Dragon as well, which is good to see. I like seeing more Zeus as well, and still 2 Koala Blocker and 3 of these Ivankovs. So like a lot of these lists have like, you know, around the same ratios when it comes to some of the core rev cards, right? So like Morley, Inazuma, Lindbergh, and all of these rev cards have like the same ratios from the last, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like these 8 cards, right? And then like your searcher and then your other 2K slot, right? But then everything else is like pretty much up for grabs, right? With your tech, with like how much you want to run. Very interesting to see. Maybe Divine Departure Betty is the new way. Maybe that's the secret sauce. You guys heard it here first. Next we have Gabe Zune, another blue purple Luffy. One of the 9 cost Luffys, one of the 8 cost rush Luffys, 1 pudding, 2 of these Nami 2Ks. I would rather just run the Finosuke instead. Since there isn't really like your leader is your searcher and he searches any Straw Hat card. Everything else is pretty standard. I'm assuming this is like 4 gear second. 4 Sanji 2K. Actually, that might be one interesting thing, is that like a lot of these guys are opting out of the Sanji 2K in favor of Finosuke, or just like not running count. Oh no, here he is. I'm lying. I'm lying. Yeah, Nami 2K, nothing else super interesting. Pretty like standard list, just 4 of everything. I want to make my deck as consistent as possible with like the 1-ofs and then like 2 Graph Blade. I can see why like almost every list is ran 2 Graph Blade and 1 to 2 Red Rock, just because you want to Graph Blade the Bello Bettys and the GP Luffys. And then like other random aggro decks like Zoro as well. Surprised we didn't see any red Zoro, right? Yeah, we didn't see any mono red Zoro in the breakdown. So that's 6th place. 7th place list, the Red Green Smoker. Shout out haha man. I do not believe in this deck, or did not believe in this deck, because I just don't know what his matchup spread is like. Shanks isn't really in the format anymore, so they just lost the bad matchup there, which is really good. I think Lucci was favored into this too. So Lucci not being here anymore is pretty good. I think this being good into Blackbeard, this being good into being able to play Hoodie Jones, being good into Green Purple Luffy. I'm not sure about its Blue Purple Luffy matchup, since Blue Purple has a lot of top end, and then this doesn't really have a lot of top end removal. Smoker's just like another 8 cost kid deck, but with removal. And I feel like that's really good at handling like aggro decks, so I can see how this would just like clap Bello Betty. But Betty is on Divine Departure. However, this Smoker does have like Floodgates in Rosinante and Tashigi. They're also on the Monet, which isn't really a common Smoker card. One of these Luffy's, 2 of these Carrots. I like having 5 drops in this deck outside of this Smoker, just in case, like, because if you don't draw a 5 drop in this deck, you know, or Sanji, you kind of just like die. Ben Beckman is nice here. Igloo's an insane card, especially paired with like Floodgate, like 8 cost kid. So shout out to haha man. They're also on 1 Radical Beam, so like 3 counter events. The Baccarat blocker, and then 3 Mogun. Yeah, I like this Smoker list. This is pretty similar to what I was running when I was on Red Green Smoker for a little bit during EB format. Really solid list. Shout out to haha man for the 7th place finish. Lastly, we have 8th place, another blue purple Luffy. They're on 2 of the 9 drop rush Luffys, no 8 cost rush Luffys, and then Finosuke as well. Yeah, so maybe Finosuke is just like him. He's just the guy. 2 Graph Blade, 2 Red Rock, 4 Nami, 3 Bond Clay. Yeah, no, it looks like that might be the way. And then everything else is pretty standard cookie cutter. You're running just a lot of 4 revs. One pudding I think seems to be the go-to. So I think one of the more interesting takeaways is that, like, maybe for Nosuke's in, and what have you. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this leader breakdown, this tournament breakdown. Let me know what you guys think. What was like the most surprising result from, you know, this tournament? What deck are you looking forward to playing in the OP11 format? And we have our first tournament, the Orlando Regional, coming up this weekend. I will be there in person at Oviedo, so if you guys see me, you know, don't be scared to say what's up. Let's take some pictures, let's hang out, let's yap about the game, you know. But yeah, you guys have a good one. Peace, y'all.